Welcome to Boss Babes week 1. So excited that you get to be here. So tonight, excited we get to hear from the amazing Jan Thetford. So as we get ready to start, let's start with a word of prayer. Dear gracious Heavenly Father, thank you for this time together. I thank you for these Boss Babes who have taken the time to be together, that we can learn, that we can hear. I ask that you bless Jan as she shares with us. I ask that you bless our hearts and our hearing, that we can hear what you are asking us to hear from this experience together. We ask this in your Son, our Savior's name. Amen. Miss Susan, will you help us learn about our NSD for the week?
Okay, this is one of her quotes. A wonderful opportunity to impact other people's lives in a positive way is all I need to get me up and going. And this is what she said in her biography. My father always thought I'd own my own business. My mother knew I wanted to help people. With her Mary Kay business, independent national sales director, Jan Thetford says, I've been blessed with both. When people ask me why I always seem up, I tell them I have a strong passion for what I do. Certainly, I've been blessed with the awesome gifts of health and energy, but for me, realizing the Lord has given me a wonderful opportunity to impact other people's lives in a positive way is all I need to get me up and going. Jan also learned to be a master organizer. The weekly plan sheet and the 6 most important things list help her keep her priorities in line. She says part of that is learning to accept that I'm never 100% caught up. But I have peace of mind at the end of the day because through my planning, I know I've done what I needed to get done. It makes so much sense, makes it so much easier to change from my suit in my mind and put on my mama hat before I walk through the door at my home. I hope to leave my children with this legacy. Have faith in God, work hard, set goals, dream big, and understand that good things come with a price. The best gift I hope to leave my own family, as well as my Mary Kay family, is in some small way I help them to be their best. That's it. And she is an
And she what?
And she is an awesome woman.
So this is, if you don't have it, help us, Susan, make sure everybody has their name spelled. So at the top of your sheet, her name is, and spell the last name for it.
S-E-L-M-A-N.
No, the NSD's name.
Oh, sorry.
Well, that could be her too, but.
Okay, it's Jan, J-A-N-T-H. E-F-O-R-T. I printed it out and it doesn't have her name on it.
Sorry. There you go. Okay. Excellent. There's actually, if you have your Boss Babe packet, she is the first one pictured. She's in the upper left. There's a T-H-E-T. She's a Thet. Don't ask me where that name comes from. Thetford. Ford, I understand. I drove one of those for many years. So, okay. So, I'm going to do this to go do it is a Voxer. So you are going to see nothing. The goal is, can you hear her? So I'm going to need thumbs up, text something that I know you can, because I'm here. I know I can hear, but it's irrelevant that I can hear it. I need y'all to be able to hear it through my computer. So that's our whole goal in this next couple seconds here. Share. Here. Okay.
Everybody, and Happy New Year, Mary Kay Consultants and Directors. This is Jan Thetford, National Sales Director, making this message to you from chilly Lubbock, Texas. As we go into a brand new year, I am so honored to be able to share with you a game-changing moment that I had in my business probably about 30 years ago. Now, I have been in Mary Kay 42 years. I started when I was 23. I'll let you guys do the math. But I've learned a lot, oh my goodness, about myself and about attitude management and money management and time management and business management. And, you know, fortunately or unfortunately, I guess, depending on how you look at it, most of the things I have learned that have been beneficial to me, I learned through the hard way. I learned through making mistakes. I learned through recognizing, this isn't going to work. And you guys, I believe that regardless of what season of life you are in, where you live in the country, how much time you are currently choosing to give your Mary Kay business, I believe that all of us get to a place where if we want Mary Kay to be a viable part of our lives, if we can deem it important enough to give it X amount of hours of time, then we've got to figure out how to work it around our lives. Many of you listening to me today are young, no kids, not married. Many of you that are listening are married with young kids or teenage kids or young adult kids or grandkids, aging parents. Some of you are living with people that are starting to retire. Some of you are living with people that are working 2 or 3 jobs. I mean, y'all, it is just such a universal business that I believe every single person that chooses to work Mary Kay the way that it's designed to work can be successful. Now, we all have reasons, I think, that legit ones that come along through life that keep us from being able to be as on top of our businesses as we would like to be, whether it be illness or deaths or some type of emergency or tragedy. So that I'm kind of moving that out of the picture, but because those are the exceptions. For the most part, guys, I believe that the reason that women do not make it in Mary Kay, of all the stuff, with all the training and the great products and all the support, is because we do not work intentionally. A game-changing moment for me, I remember what I had on the day I decided that I was tired of my business running me. And if I were going to make it and maintain a home that I thought was somewhat peaceful, thrive in the business, keep my marriage afloat, not have anybody jump off a building, I was going to have to get a grip on and work my business with intentionality. That day came. I had small kids, and it's late afternoon with small children. It's so hard, because it's too early for bedtime and too late for everything else. And many times they're fussy, and I was trying to throw some supper together and had the kids, and I had a customer call, and she was unhappy with me because 4 or 5 days earlier she had placed an order and I had just not had my act together enough to get it to her. And so I threw the kids in the car. We drove across town, delivered that product, got her somewhat happy. On the way home, I remember getting a little teary-eyed, and I thought, oh my gosh, Jen, you cannot do this. You love it, but you got to get a grip, man. You got to figure this out. And that was the day, the game-changing day, that I decided I was going to work with intentionality. Y'all, we are created by our Father in heaven for progress. We are. It's the way we're wired. And when we're not progressing, we do one of two things. We either quit or we get frustrated and get really negative, and then everything is harder than it's supposed to be and all the things. So I'm going to challenge you with a new thought today. What if, as we start this new year, you were to make intentional effort to building your business and staying on track? By nature, myself, Jen Thetford, I do not dot I's and cross T's very well. I am not a real detailed person. Follow-up has always been challenging for me. So therefore, one of the things I recognized during this time is that I was going to have to put systems in place that helped me stay intentional. Do y'all know that the base word, the Greekest or most original form of the word ambition, is the same as the word frustration? Isn't that interesting? That when we are frustrated, it truthfully stems from the fact that God created us, as I said, for progress, and therefore we are ambitious. And so when we are looking at a business where we are an independent contractor and the buck really does stop with us, we've got to make that decision to work intentionality. Now, the layman's definition of intentionality is just Jen Pepper's definition is I'm going to do something on purpose. I'm going to make time for it. It's not going to be an afterthought. It's not going to be if everything works out perfectly and I have time. It's not going to be when I get everything else done. It's intentionally, intentionally, I'm going to work my Mary Kay business around all the other crazy in my life. And I'm going to do it. And I want to give you 4 tools today that have helped me through the years work with intentionality. Guys, honestly, if I could just be so bold, we got to quit blaming the government, goodness gracious, and God, and our families, and our children for what we as independent contractors have not been willing to do. Let's just face it. We've not been willing to. Now, if you don't want to, this message will not help you today. I mean, we've all got to have that desire, but if you are willing to, oh my goodness, the world is, it's filled with growth opportunities, guys. This business is second to none on support and encouragement and great products and great integrity. All the things that people want, really, we've got in Mary Kay, but they don't serve us any purpose if we don't tap into them. Okay, so back to my 4 things. Number 1, weekly plan sheet. Y'all, we know this. We've heard other people say it. Time spent one place is time spent away from something else. When I decided to get intentional, I decided to start scheduling the time I would work Mary Kay. Now, I could talk an hour on that today, and I won't. But if you have not been doing a weekly plan sheet where you sit down over the weekend and you look at everything on your plate for the next week, whether it be your full-time job or your home schedule or your children's schedule, you get that on paper, and then you find the pockets of time in there that you can do your IPA activity in Mary Kay, the booking, coaching, selling, recruiting. It can all be done. And it may not be done in big old chunks of time. It may be done 30 minutes here, 30 minutes there. I mean, when I was working full-time and working Mary Kay and I got intentional, then my lunch hour changed a little bit. I was either running errands or running deliveries or making a few phone calls. And now we've got all these great ways to communicate, and we can do that. But you've got to make that decision to be intentional. So a weekly plan sheet puts your life on paper 24 hours a day, and you can get a grip. Now, do those schedules always work out perfectly? No. They do not. Somebody wakes up with a stomach bug at 8:30 in the morning and your whole day's changed. But for the most part, that gives us a track to run on. And then, y'all, you can build a life with Mary Kay around your priorities. And we do have the flexibility to work when we want to work and can work, but we got to work at some point or we're not going to have those benefits. So I made a decision. These are the nights I'm going to work. Am I willing to work another night? If I had to, yes, I would. Those are the exceptions. But I got into a habit, that I would work my Monday nights, Tuesday nights, have one more event sometime during the week, and Saturday mornings. And then the kids started playing sports on Saturday, so I had to shift that schedule. It's totally up to your call, right? But it was intentionality. I knew that if I put my week on paper, I could segue into paper number 2, and that's my goals. I worked with goals. I always do because that's my track to run on. So if my goal was to sell 300 that week, or to put Mary Kay on 5 faces that week, or to get a new team member that week, whatever I needed to do, I had to make sure that the activity to do that was supported in my weekly plan sheet. And so that's when I started breaking it down into what we lovingly call IPAs, income producing activities. Our friend Mary Kay Emeritus Bette Brennan, she was the one who came up with IPAs years and years and years ago. And we just created them. I mean, we've recreated and created and done, and they are wonderful. But let me tell you why this is so important with intentionality. When you have an IPA checklist in front of you, then you are doing what you need to do to grow your business. Y'all, and then most of us are like, I don't mind, Jan. I don't mind doing what I need to do, but I don't know what to do. This tells us what to do every day. And if you have just a smidgen of time on this crazy day and you can get 2 IPAs done, then you've moved your business forward with intentionality. So I know that Karen will be attaching and sending some of these support materials with you, and the weekly plan sheet and an IPA sheet, so that you can say, I got 1 hour today in between ball games to work my Mary Kay, and I'm going to get these things done. I'm not just going to sit around and worry about it. Third thing, y'all, you've heard about a bubble sheet, haven't you? I'm sure you have. National Sales Director Tammy Craig made them famous years ago. I love bubble sheets. Do you know why? Because I can intentionally work the volume with the numbers that are necessary to get results. We're never going to be 3 for 3, y'all, ever. Nobody is ever that talented. It's never going to work 3 for 3. So I know that I've got to make 10 attempts to get 3 yeses. I know that. And so once I use this bubble sheet, and every week I make sure that I have made that 56 contacts, and they're not all going to be yeses. Some of them are going to be no's, but that moves my business forward. Okay, my last piece of paper. You ready? Weekly accomplishment sheet. Also generated by Mary Kay Corporate. Also on InTouch. Now, the IPA sheet and the bubble sheet we get from the field, from people in the sales force. The weekly plan sheet and the weekly accomplishment sheet we get from Mary Kay. Why the weekly accomplishment sheet? Because, guys, it tells you what you're doing. It tells you how much money you've made. It tells you how many contacts you've done. It tells you what you've given away in hostess credit. It tells you what you're paying in tax. It tells you how many hours you're working. It tells you if you're making money, how much money you are making, where your money's coming from. It is an amazing sheet. And they're called weekly accomplishment sheets, y'all, for a reason. They're weekly, not monthly or bi-yearly, right? Or annually when you're doing your taxes. Oh my goodness. So here's where I want to leave you all today, guys, with those 4 pieces of paper. Weekly plan sheet, IPA sheet, bubble sheet, weekly accomplishment sheet. If you just chunked everything else you were working with, you don't have to, but you incorporate these 4 things, you are going to work with intentionality. And consultants, you may have some questions about each one of those, and your director can answer that for you because she's worked with them herself and she's leading you by her example. Oh my goodness, guys, the value of working with intentionality. Success and moving forward in a business like Mary Kay is hard because we don't have systems. It's not hard because it's hard. We work with people, we work with a great product, it's fun, but we have to keep ourselves on track. So whether you're working Mary Kay part-time or more on a full-time basis right now, there's no sense in you having to do it halfway just because you're not giving it as many hours as maybe you're giving something else. So in this new year, just make that commitment. I'm going to work with intentionality. I'm going to get checklists. I'm going to have things to do lists. I'm going to put my goals on paper and check off every day. I'm going to work with intentionality and not just hope that something happens, but I'm going to do the work that will assure that my business will grow. Happy New Year, everybody.
Yay. Let's hear it from Miss Jan. Okay. Before I turn off the recording, I want to go back and do one other screen sharing. One of the sheets that she talked about was tracking IPAs. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys, thanks to Kathy Steinman, this sheet that is out on the Jewel National area. I just want to show you guys where it is, and then we'll come back to it. So we're going to do screen share. Y'all can see my screen, i.e. the Jewel National Area Facebook. Yes. So right here under files, consultant daily activity tracking sheet. Okay, so click on that. Maybe my computer will be nice. Maybe not. Come on. How many different ways can I open it up for you? Okay, so the cool thing about this is kind of a combination of IPAs and bubble sheet all in one sheet of paper. So we'll go over that, but I just wanted you guys to see it before we go back into the questions and stuff like that. I just wanted it on the recording that everybody knows that it's out there on our Jewel National Area under files. So this amazing sheet is right there for you, for everybody. So now we are going to stop the recording. Yes.